So the first exercise we're going to do is the butt tuck. You're going to go in between the point of the hip and the top of the tail, meet in the middle, use your fingernails on both sides, and scratch to lift the back, engaging the core. Then you relax, let them hang out for a minute, and go back and do that 3 to 4 reps. Second one is a side crunch. Grab the top of the tail. You're going to pull them slightly towards you, and then use your fingernails on the abdomen to actually crunch their side. Then the third one is the hip to tail stretch, and that you're going to go with your hand on the point of the hip, usually pointing towards the tail, depending on how they like it. You're going to put pressure on it. They may need to go against a wall. They will lean on you, and you're going to hold that for 1 to 3 minutes. The next exercise is long and short tail pulls. A long tail pull is basically what it is. You're going to stand behind them safely and hold the tail and lean against. And that's good for an endorphin release and a relaxation. And you can see she's engaging. The quick tail pulls are same, self-explanatory. Quick pull and release. And they will fire up all their stabilization muscles in their stifles and their gluteals. And then you can do that slightly off kilter. So this side would be a little bit more left. If you go to the right, you're going to engage more of the right side. Usually the quick tail pulls, we do 50 to 100, working up from a lower number. TMJ massage. You go right behind the eye, right below the facial crest here. There's a bunch of arteries and nerves. And you can do circular motions. You can do static pressure. You can pull down depending on the horse's tolerance. You can also do traction of the jaw, where you kind of grab underneath their mandible, and you pull down and wiggle, and push up and wiggle. And then if they're a horse that's really tense in their pull, sometimes it helps to release their forehead. So these nice muscles on their forehead, it's just a pressure point. And move up and down the forehead. The next exercise is assisted neck stretches. You're going to put your hand on their halter. You're going to have them come around with your hand at the base of the neck. Usually I put myself in a lunge. Have them come just basically to the shoulder and then lean into it. Stop. Good girl. You'll hold that for 30 to 60 seconds and do both sides. The dynamic neck stretches, we're going to usually be with a treat. She's not so good at this. You're going to have her come around to her shoulder. Good girl. Back to midline. Down to the knee. Good girl. Midline. And then down to the fetlock. Good girl. And then you would repeat that the same way. Midline to hip, midline to stifle, and then midline to the hock. That helps strengthen all these little muscles along the spine. So next exercise will be front leg stretches and hind leg stretches. So just going to pick them up like you normally would. Usually we try to go nice and low, usually at the cannon bone. You can even use your knees. You can go forward. And if they're tolerant enough, you can go backwards. That stretches out the withers and then the shoulder. This one's a little harder. The hind leg stretches. Again, same thing. Forward and low, easy. And back and low. You're fine. Good girl. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds. This exercise is shoulder rotations. So you're going to pick up their foot like you're picking their feet. And then you're going to just use your leg to rotate the shoulder in and out. You can even use your hand to stretch it outward. Opens up the pectoral muscles. And you can do circles. If they're really tight in their lower neck, this muscle, it's good with their foot elevated to release the muscle. And you can go ahead and you can do some lower neck massage in that area. The next exercise you can do is weight shifting. And it's basically a balance exercise. You're just going to kind of push them backwards slightly, not technically asking them to back. Or you can also do it with the leg elevated, where you're kind of pushing them backwards a little bit. It's a small movement for balance. Traction over the ribs, you're going to get on something elevated, like a mounting block. Off midline, you stand. You're going to move your hands right to the actual angle of the rib, about 2 hands widths off of the rib, and you're going to use your body weight to push down on the ribs. And you can move from forward all the way back, and that's a good stretch off midline. And then for backing exercises, pretty self-explanatory. We want them nice and collected. No scrambling, and we want her to back 10 feet. Back. Nice and controlled. And usually I repeat that 10 times. So if your horse has a really tight pull or holds a lot of tension in their pull, you can do pull massage and release. I like to do it with their head on my shoulder. It releases the tension on the muscle belly. And then you're just going to kind of extend the head. And then you can work through those upper muscles right over C1 and C2. And you can also do acupressure points through there to help release that muscle belly.